BpsRps, it looks like we're live. Final day of May. Day of May today, May 31st, 2021. Tomorrow is the start of June, obviously, because June comes after May, which we all should know. Today in baseball, the Phillies got totally humiliated and embarrassed. They're really bad, aren't they? They're really bad. They have no farm system to trade from. Why would they trade their really high risk, high reward minor leaguers in single A to get a middle reliever? They're unproven, so they're not going to get a big haul. That will further deplete the system. Yep, they're stinky. They're in a real bad situation. And usually we have answers for some. We don't have answers for this. I guess they should just continue to be mired in mediocrity like the Indiana Pacers of the 80s. You know, be happy if they're like a 500 team, and maybe just fold the franchise, right? Just get rid of them. Just fold up. It was a good run. They have 2 world championships in about 150 years, which is the same as the Marlins in maybe 20 years. Vinny can't do it himself. That no good double crossing 2-timing catchers batting like 280, 4 home runs. They got a lot of money tied up in him and Wheeler and Harper. They can't. They just have to just fold. Just quit. This way they won't be losers anymore. At least they can be quitters, which is better than being a loser. Obi, awesome job on Josh Gibson. Phenomenal. The lumber, I like the little play on words he did. He's got the lumber with the bat, the lumber on the wood piece. It's a great piece. Awesome. The story I wanted to tell, it reminds me, when Billy Beane was on the Mets, he was down in a southern part of the United States, and he was in a bar. Billy Beane had so much game. He had more game than Milton Bradley. And he's talking to some ladies, and as they're leaving, the girls went, y'all dudes, y'all guys, Yankees. And one of the other players with Billy Beane looked and said, we're not Yankees, we're Mets. He didn't understand the Yankees were a term, I think, if I'm not mistaken, for Northerners. But I thought that was a little funny, and I connected it because Opie said a lot of his words from the North he's learned is from BpsRps. So yeah, that was a great piece. That was really good. Everything about it. I know there's the contest, so anybody who didn't see it yet, check out Opie's timeline and vote for him over there. It's definitely worth it. Definitely big thing going on for Josh Gibson. Vinny is who we thought he was. Yeah, that's the real Vinny Velasquez. I mean, I hope we're wrong. His velocity was still there, they said, but sometimes it's a little bit more than just velocity. So I'm on Bips's laptop, and the mouse doesn't work, so I have to touch the screen. If anybody knows what happens, how to fix that, let me know on the little mouse pad here. That's on. I don't know if you can see it. This thing. There's a little light there. No, you can't see it. Sorry for showing my sack. Sorry for cursing. There's a little mouse pad that's inside the laptop. I forgot what it's called. It's not working. It worked last night. Happy Memorial Day, everyone. If anybody cares, I visited Betsy Ross's house. She was the seamstress that did our flag, the United States of America's flag. And Alfred's Alley, it's the oldest street in America. It's my little tour of Philadelphia. The little guy likes that. And, he's been in a lot, school and stuff, so I figured I'd take him out for a couple hours, make him have a little bit of fun. Oh, today in baseball. Hope everybody barbecued, enjoyed their day. Tommy Lasorda struck out 25 in a 15-inning game against Amsterdam. He pitched for the Canadian American League, Tommy Lasorda, back in 1948. He then went on to manage the Dodgers and physically assault and bully mascots during his band career. I don't make that up. It says it right there. Steinbrenner, he was suspended for a week in 1983 for repeated problems with the outspoken owner's public criticism of umpires. He cannot attend games at or be at Yankee Stadium in his office during the suspension. Imagine if that suspension was levied to somebody now. Who like most people don't even have to go in the office to talk to people. That'd be great for some people. Save on gas money. Uh, Albert Bell. We talked about this the other night. He used his forearm to break up a double play, nearly breaks Milwaukee second baseman Fernando Vina's nose. He got suspended 2 games. Couple birthdays today. Joe Ursulak, 1962. Kenny Lofton, who was a good leadoff hitter, 1967. Dave Roberts, 1972. He manages somebody now, the Dodgers. And Marty Jansen, 1973. I think he was in the Rock and Roll Express. Ants team. Minnie Bips. Minnie Bips has joined us. What are you doing? How'd you find me? So everybody, the Ants team is Minnie Bips. Feel free to subscribe. He's always looking for people for him. Trivia tonight. You got the sweatshirt. There's 4 sweatshirts on this card. Let's go one. A couple rub-offs here. The guarantee value, $125, and a plethora of other offerings. This is amazing. He's 2 floors above me, which is, I don't know, 10 yards. Yet rather than be here, he's upstairs. It's all about the networking, all about the computer. Yeah, this is Topps 08. Manny Ramirez, Manny being Manny. All right, let's see what we got. The call is coming from inside the house. What movie is that? That was a scary movie. That was one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. Check the Children. Forgot the name of it. Tim Wakefield, one of the only knuckleballers that wasn't affected by the aging curve, like the Necro brothers. Victor Martinez. He has a very interesting autograph. He was a catcher, as you can see here. He was a good catcher. He put up some good numbers. Many years. Then he had to move to DH, but he was a really good fantasy pick many years. Yeah, it was an old movie. I remember it came out. I think I was in 4th or 5th grade reading it in the grade school newsletter. They actually had the script of that movie in there. Jimmy, and I remember it was like really creepy. Jimmy, you might know this. You're a movie guru, movie correspondent. Yep. See what movie? Check the Children. The call is coming from inside the house. Jeff wrote about that. They did a remake of that a couple of years ago. About 3 years ago. I don't think it really got too many good stars, but when a stranger calls, we remember everything here. League leaders: Rodriguez, Pena, Ortiz. A-Rod, Carlos Pena. Remember him from Moneyball? And David Ortiz. Very nice card. David Weathers. I think his son Ryan pitches for the Padres. Chris Ray. Chris Ray, wasn't he a closer? Yeah, he saved double digits a couple years for the Orioles. Then a remake. See? We figured this stuff out. John Lester. It's got to be his rookie or second-year card. That's when he was good. He was good his first 2-3 years. God bless him, though. He did come back from, I think it was testicular cancer. He had a bout of cancer. He came back, though, strong. Yep, here it is. 11 months after a cancer diagnosis, he made a triumphant return to the game. So we always respect that from him. Own the game. Carlos Lee. I don't think he owns the game. That would be like Abner Doubleday. That's your genre, right? Yeah. Um, I remember it was a really creepy movie. It's scarier, that kind of like you don't know what's happening, sort of like a Hitchcockian kind of thing than like, Friday the 13th. Obi is the Topps rookie cup for you. Chad Tracy, he had a couple good years. Dan Uggla. Whenever they come up with a prospect who's coming up, a middle infielder who has some good power but a low batting average, they always compare him to Dan Uggla. He was good for like 30 home runs and a 205 average. And Tim Redding, who's good for nothing. All right, Topps 92. These cards are nice. You just can't really see the names. So players on these cards. 92. 92. I graduated high school in 92. So needless to say, I don't remember these cards. I don't remember these cards from my youth. 30 hours, 200 strikeouts. That Dan Uggla? Yeah, Dan Uggla, exactly. His strikeouts match his batting average. There's another rub-off card. We'll put this to the trivia. There's too many things to scratch off. Match the stats. Bonus offer. You can't need a magnifying glass to read that. See, I told you he was in the
I
house.
still have you on YouTube.
We hope YouTube. What are you doing?
Nothing. They just came to tell you I searched the first thing that popped up. Looks like I gotta change my name.
Yo, Matt. What's up, buddy? We got on YouTube about 3 nights ago. We were having problems with Twitter with the audio feed, so it looked like a kung fu movie. I would talk, but the audio wasn't syncing to the lips. So we decided try YouTube, and here I am. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, I could do it for my phone. But until I get to 1,000, which I don't even know 1,000 people, it's Laptop City. So haven't forgot you though. Been putting some Cardinals away for you. Yeah, Uggla was good. If you were tanking average, that's one of my favorite strategies. You tank one category, and you just build up the other ones. Uggla, nobody would touch him because of that. I think if you have, I forgot how many subscribers, then you start getting paid, like a nickel a day or something. I forgot how. And whatever we get paid, we'll pump it right back into Greg Jeffries rookies. Mark Reynolds, Adam Dunn. Vinny Bipp says 1,000 subscribers. All right, let's do our part. Greg Swindell, Cal Eldred. Swindell had a couple good years, but Keith Miller, the Mets. Great uniform. Leo Gomez. 4,000 watch hours. So that means if I do, usually I average about 30 minutes. I'd have to average 60 minutes, and 4,000 people would have to watch one episode. Wow. So at this rate, I could probably start getting paid probably by the time I'm 162 years old. Oh, good. So you're telling me the chance. Leo Gomez. They gave him a cup. Eldred had a good year with the Brewers, right? I think he had a good rookie year. Not this one. But yeah, remember Eldred was all right with the Cardinals. We're going to put this in your stash, man. You'll tell me how much watch hours you need. You want to pull out the calculator, Mini Bips? Sean Dunston, former number one draft pick in the '84 draft. He had a cannon for an arm. Larry Anderson. This guy is a prankster. He's a jokester, and he's a radio announcer on the Phillies network. I did have a cigarette with Larry Anderson in St. Louis. If I knew Matt lived there at the time, we could have invited Matt over, have a cigarette with us. I think he's from where at least I know he's a Cardinals fan. I don't know if he lives there. There you go, Jim. That's where we'll get around the system that way. Repeat, loop it. I think the technical term is we'll put it on loop. Scott Scudder. This is a pretty cool card. You live in Chicago. Shoeless Joe Jackson. That's right. I forgot the name of the courthouse where the supposed conversation from the kid say it ain't so, Joe. This Joe Jackson thing. Michigan Avenue. Good time out there. It's a pretty cool card. It's just a shame that he's a real bad player. Imagine if that was like Frank Thomas. Bob Tewksbury. Mel Rojas. Isn't Mel Rojas still playing? Shortstop for the Marlins, right? So wait a minute. If you live in the Chicago area, why are you a Cardinals fan? Isn't there a rivalry there? That's like me saying I'm a Mets fan over the Phillies, right? Jose Offerman, Greg Myers. It's a bad pack. Dick Schofield, Tom Pagnazzi, Scott Bradley, rather Phil Bradley. It's a rough pack, fellas. All right, Jeff's going to do his part. We're all going to do our part. We're going to get us to 4,000 watch hours. There you go. That makes sense. I'm in Philadelphia, but I'm a Marlins and an Oakland A's fan. I had to raise myself on that because my father's a big Phillies fan. But after the way the Phillies been playing, I'm renouncing my rights to their fandom. More sweatshirts. These are the big packs, courtesy of my man Rob One, who we just welcomed. Julio Franco, Julio Cesar Robles Franco. It's his full name. Julio Caesar. I guess they were really into Julius Caesar mythology, his family. Tom Cannati, another knuckleballer. Roger McDowell, he's from the Larry Anderson mold, the clubhouse jokester, prankster. He was traded for Juan Samuel, along with, I think it was Dykstra and McDowell to the Phillies for Juan Samuel. If we could end that trade back, I would love it. Kirk McCaskill. Wow, Floyd Bannister. Chris Brown. Chris Brown used to beat up his girlfriend. Remember, he beat up Rihanna. We don't condone that here. Never lay your hands on anyone, especially not your girlfriend. What kind of boyfriend is that? And Don Baylor, speaking of hitting, he got hit with the most pitches in his baseball career. And he was the 1979 MVP, co-MVP with Keith Hernandez. It's the only time they ever did co-MVPs in 1 year. Upper Deck 90. Matt, what's up with Tyler O'Neill? He's been playing very well. Ozuna, that's a good point. All in favor of banning Ozuna type I. I said type I. That's why I couldn't say it out loud, so I typed it. There you go. You think he'll ever come back to play? I mean, that was really graphic. The witness, what the witness said about him. It wasn't like, oh, I think he did it. He really hit her with the cast. Do you think he's Cowboy Bob Orton? Darren Jackson, Dave Righetti. Righetti pitched a no-hitter, right? Any Ozuna cards are going to go in the ban page. Wow, what do we do? Does he go in the ban page or the arrested page? O'Neal, and he's quick too, right? He's got power. He's a Gold Glove defender. He really developed this show. Like really, it's his coming out party, if you will. I have a lot of shares of him in fantasy leagues. It's the second night in a row we're getting this wannabe manager. Joe Girardi. Ant's Gaming and Life. Did you change your name, Ant? Mini Bips? Junior Ortiz. I always thought that was David Ortiz's kid, but it's actually David Ortiz himself. He changed his name when he got cut from the Twins. You change your name that quick? Rich Yet. Not Yeti. Yet. He has yet to become a good baseball player. Jay Hal. Jay Hal was a good middle reliever. Banned and arrested. That's a great idea. Wow. That would be Lenny Dykstra. Marcelo Zuna. I don't think Melanson or Lasorda were ever arrested. Although Lasorda should have been arrested many times. Joe Warsalak, it's his birthday, and we got his card. We'll put this in the trivia prizes. My man Rob won. If you're watching, if you're not watching now, if you're watching the replay 4 or 5 a.m., Kirby Puckett, and he's happy. This guy always smiled. His life was taken too short. Was he like 49 years old? Yeah, most wanted. Padres hologram. Julio Franco. If you think back, this is a 90 pack. He was traded in 81 for Von Hayes, among other players, and he was still playing. 19 years later, and he was still playing, probably still playing right now, probably some league. Batted 318 last year. Talk about Hall of Famers. Julio Franco. I don't know what his overall final numbers were, but the longevity. Speaking of badass binders, Steve Sachs, the Yips. This is when the Yips started, I think, right? When he was on the Yankees. Kenny Rogers, the gambling man. Did Kenny Rogers pitch a no-hitter, or was he charged with scuffling a ball? Does he really, Julio? See? Even like I think he was 45. Some team signed him and he batted 300. It's amazing. It's a pretty cool card. Jack Armstrong leading the team during spring training in their rendition of YMCA by the Macho Men. He was the Y. See? You can just hear the music in the background. It's not Memorial Day without this guy. Mike Scott, speaking of cheaters and ball scufflers, I think he pitched a no-hitter. George Bell, he used to be a Philly. The Blue Jays picked him in a Rule 5 draft. Went on to have a great career with the Blue Jays. Luckily for him, they didn't protect him in the draft because if he stayed with the Phillies, he would have been out of baseball by 84. And Billy Hatcher on the Pirates. I don't remember that. I remember him on the Reds, obviously. He would have been the MVP of the 90 World Series if Oakland didn't sweep Cincinnati in our revisionist history. All right, final pack of the night. That brings us to Donruss pop-up. The goals, I think it was Riverfront Stadium. I think we saw on the checklist. Warren Spahn puzzle. 37, 38, 39. We're getting close. This is nice. Mark McGwire pop-up. Look at that. Still in Oakland. This is his pre-Roy days. Bobby Bonilla. Oh, Twitter's probably lost a ton of viewers, and people probably cancel their Twitter accounts because we're not on there anymore. Live. A lot of people. I could picture maybe thousands. And if those thousands of people subscribe here, we would all benefit. See, he sold his stock in Twitter. I had Twitter shirts ready to be handed out to people, and I threw them out. So sell high on Twitter, short the stock. Bobby Bonilla. You know, such a good player, but his career's like a joke now, like a punchline because of the salary. Tom Kelly. I think he's only one of two managers in the set. I don't know why the hell he would put Tom Kelly in the set. Ozzie Smith, the Wizard of Oz. Osborne. Black Sabbath. Final two cards of the night. Paul Molitor. He's a good player. MVP. I don't know if he won MVP. That was Robin Yao. Oh, wow. Yeah, Alvarez has been on fire. He's really, they promoted him. If I read that right, he's been doing really well. Kelly Kapowski. R. Kelly. Rather have R. Kelly than Tom Kelly. Kurt Stillwell. Final card of the night. Kurt Stillwell. For what? For what? Are you trying to sell the Alvarez cards? The best time to sell the cards is when the prospect gets called up for the first day. Think about Jared Kalenic when he was called up. His cards were on fire. Now he's struggling a little. Now's the time to buy. I think my man Rob One has a Wander Franco bat, like an autograph bat. It's got a certificate of authenticity. He wants to sell it once he goes on fire. But that's not the time. As soon as they say they're calling them up is when you sell them. The eBay auctions. Oh yeah. I gotta check to see if I have any more Alvarez's. I think I might have some pro debuts and some heritage. Oh wow. If you could sell it for 200, I mean, I know you like them, but that's a big profit. That's 7 times the profit if you could sell it for that. And then you can get like about 4,000 Greg Jeffries 88 fleers. So you at least you keep it with your Mets. Think about it. Think about it. You sell it. If you keep it and God forbid he starts struggling, it's like playing blackjack. You know, you're here, you keep going. But in my case, I'm not advising you what to do. If I tell you to sell and you sell and it goes up to 800, I'd feel horrible. If I tell you to keep it and it goes down to $2, I feel horrible. So in the words of Master Yoda, you must do what you feel is right. Wrong quote, the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi. You must do what you feel is right, of course. PSA 7. PSA 7, Greg Jeffries is worth more than like an Acuna rookie. Those ratings are so expensive. Well, whatever you decide, Jim, I hope it works out. You know, none of us have a crystal ball to predict these players. Although we were all right on Moniak, we can all agree that he should be out of baseball, and that's the best thing. So that's all I got tonight, fellas. Thank you all for joining. Trivia. Do a trivia prize. Right, exactly. Think about it. Think about it. Like 10 years from now, we're going to look back and see a Moniak card. Like, wow, remember he was their #1 pick? Whose birthday was it? Dave Roberts. That's what we'll do. Al Bell. Today was the day he almost crushed Fernando Vina's life. What was Al Bell's first name? His real first name before he changed it to Albert. Don't type the answer. Retweet it at the end of the broadcast so we know who was first. There's the trivia prizes. That's all I got, fellas. Thank you all for joining. Hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. For some of us, back to school, back to work tomorrow. Make the best of it. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. You keep watching. I'll keep ripping. Have a good night.